And we are finally back here once again for the next episode of A Conversation with Kely, continuing our ongoing discussion of the newest season of Big Brother Canada. I am joined, of course, by my lovely and beautiful co-host, Allie, allegedly reporting from the BB Can house. If you know, you know. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I had just a chill day because I'm off work now for a few days. So, yeah. Hung out today and then I went for a walk, but other than that, it's been a very relaxing day, which is needed.
Yeah, definitely. I worked for most of the day, so that's fun. But anyway, we're not here to talk about our days. We're here to talk about Big Brother Canada. But before we do, we have not one, but two guests with us today. First of all, we always love having her on for Big Brother, especially, for just her username alone, I feel is so fucking funny. And this is why we love having her on. We do have Kaci.
Woo.
Hello.
Great to have you. And also, very last minute, we were planning to have them on later in a later episode, but they messaged us and we said, you know what, let's get them on now. We have...
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for First of all, Kevin, Allie messaged me to come on last minute.
Yeah, it's because you messaged saying
it was a collective effort, all right?
Okay. They said they wanted to call, so I'm like, let's just have them on.
Yes, agreed. Sure. Great to have you both on, as always. Now, before we do start things off, we always ask our guests this, just because I think it's a good way to start off. What are your thoughts on this season so far? How you guys feeling?
I love the season. I can't wait to figure out what's behind all of the doors.
Yeah.
Let's make a deal. Give me some money. Give Betty HOH or something. Like, I wanted an invisible HOH behind that door. You know what I mean? Like, I want something cracked. Like, BB Can is usually about it, but nothing crazy has happened yet, and I'm just ready for something to happen.
Something's gonna happen. I guarantee some crazy.
I definitely agree. I thought the first few doors that were gonna open were like at least a veto in there, but nope, it's money.
Yeah,
I'm not ashamed of money, but like, come on, BB Can. There's something up them sleeves. Come on now.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to find out what's behind them for the rest of them though.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say that like they think that a potential like triple could be coming up because they're trying to pay tribute to every single season, and like week 3, season 3 triple eviction. So that a lot of people think that could potentially happen, but we'll see.
This week?
Not this week, but like maybe next week.
But like they've only paid tribute to, well, the first veto was the first challenge in season 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I remember.
Yeah, you guys would know more about this than me. I've only seen last season. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. Obviously, we have a full week to talk about here. Interesting week, I would say. Not the best HOH at all, but better than the one we're going to talk about next week. Spoilers, that's all I'll say. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started talking about this week. So we start off and we see Kevin's very happy to have survived the eviction. I survived, guys. Oh my God. I'm not going to be first boot of a BB Can 10. But I know it's very sad. Hermon talks about how chaotic his HOH was and that though it didn't go as well as he planned, he's feeling good, especially having created an alliance known as the Savage 7, which we do get to see a little bit more coverage of that. How do we feel about this alliance? Do we think it's going to last? Do we think it's like doomed to fail? Like, how are we feeling?
It's gonna flop.
Can we name who's in the alliance again?
Yeah. So it consists of Kyle, Josh, Moose, Summer, Tynesha, and Gino.
Or technically Steven, but yeah.
Steven.
Giannopoulos or whatever. I mean, it's 5 men, 2 women. Sounds like a great idea. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like, what is that alliance in BB16?
The Detonators?
The Bomb Squad. No, the Bomb
Squad.
Squad. That's what it was. That was the first one.
Oh my God.
It had 2 women, Amber and Christine. Like, this is not giving me good vibes right now.
It was also giving me the season 7 alliance with the pretty boys and the 2 girls. It was also giving me that.
Oh yeah. Okay, we're not even no.
Yeah,
Throwing
I've
tomatoes.
seen a lot of people say that we could get a potential Pretty Boys 2.0, and
Oh,
I'm
no.
glad that I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
we're going in that direction.
Please
I
God,
don't see that
no.
happening.
No.
Give me a Wendy's power or something up in that bitch. We do not want
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, put some power in the Frosty, like.
I don't know what the fuck they're giving Kyle, but that's another story. Like,
Honestly.
Right.
So he does feel there's one person who isn't very happy, and that, of course, is Jess. We see them talk to themselves and kind of give themselves a pep talk. And I gotta say, Jess is one of those people that I think went from being in one of the worst positions to maybe one of the better positions in the house, because the way they're able to get out of a very easy situation to where they very easily could have been put up, I think is honestly very impressive. And I'm honestly liking the way that they're playing. Like, I was worried at first that they were just, not really doing a great job at like talking to people and, blowing up at basically, the littlest of things, but they really are recovering from it quite well, I must say.
I'm actually pretty proud of them. Like,
yeah.
At first I was like, yeah, they're definitely not gonna make it that far because they were the target round 1. Yeah. But like, they're actually doing so much better.
Yeah.
It's nice to see like a change of dynamics, because usually like the past seasons of Baby Can, even BBOS, like you just see like people just going with the flow the first few weeks.
Mm-hmm. Not this season.
This season, it's like, nope, I'm trying to make a big move, make a name for myself before they target me and I go home. Like,
all right, what is it, like fucking round 2? All right.
Yeah, it feels like we're already a jury with the way some of these people are playing.
I know.
So
I do like Jess. I think that they have been bouncing back quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about Hermon.
Yeah.
Later on this, I guess maybe towards the end of this, because I do have some concerns about Jess and Hermon still, but I think that other than that, they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. I've been pretty impressed with them. So we get to the next HOH of the season, and for this challenge, everyone has to balance on a surfboard. Relatively simple overall. Eventually, it comes down to Steph and Marty, with Marty ultimately winning. This was really random to me. Like, I was not expecting Marty to win this. Like, I remember reading on Twitter that he won this, and I'm like watching it, and I'm like, how the fuck did he win this? Like, how does this happen? And it did. And like, he made a deal. Oh, I don't know what happened to Sean. I guess they froze. But basically, he's very excited to have won this week's HOH. He makes this deal with Steph that he's not going to go after her. Do we think this was a good HOH week for Marty?
I mean, it was obviously, it's good that he made that deal with Steph.
Yeah.
But then, like, obviously he was going back on it later.
Yeah.
But I mean, I literally thought, like, when I heard it came down to them, I'm just like, I feel like Steph's gonna win. But then when Marty won, I was like, oh, okay,
yeah,
I'm shocked.
Yeah, because it seemed like she had a very like steady lead, and then suddenly she didn't.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, for Marty making that deal and then just being like, I don't know about Steph the whole time, like, it's like, brother, if you feel like she's gonna come after you, just be like, it's not that hard to be like, I don't really feel confident in that deal that we were trying to make, because it was in front of everybody. Everybody heard her, just not really confirm or have any sort of affirmations. Like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Like, that's a deal. So he definitely had some wiggle room there, and I just don't know why he didn't do his best for his game.
I feel like this is one of the few times where like I've seen someone make that deal and like be like, I have to stick to it, like be very adamant about it, because I feel like a lot of the time we see people make deals like that, it's very much just bullshit. And the fact that like Marty was like so like intense about it, and he's like, I must stick to this, like there's no way I can put her up. I was just kind of like, she probably should have just put her up, like if you were that like worried about
it. Yeah, like just put her up, bro.
Honestly.
And he even says, like, at one point, like, the next day after he'd won HOH, like, she was the first person to come in and just, like, make sure that the deal was still going, which she thought was sus. And it's like, dude, if you thought it was sus, like, there's your reason. Target her.
Literally.
That's it.
Yeah. Sean, we're talking about Marty's HOH.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, no, Marty evicted me from the StreamYard. I won the battle back, and here I am.
Oh, okay.
Okay, icon.
I don't know what y'all said, but I did not like this. I don't like him as HOH.
No, I don't either.
I don't like Marty.
No.
He should have just taken the deal. Gave was it Stephanie or Jacey-Lynne?
Yeah, Steph.
Stephanie.
He should just give her like all the blood. Like I don't like Marty.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of Marty very much either. And I was worried like preseason that like he wasn't really gonna fit in with this cast, and I still
Like he was gonna Tina the shit out of it. Same.
Yeah.
Same. I was like, I cannot do another Tina in the house. I cannot.
Yeah. And I still
wanted
don't
him-
think he does, but he's playing like even worse than I like expected him to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I am just not a fan of the way Marty is playing very much at all. The way he's like counting people out already. It's like, and he's really limiting himself to like who he wants to work with. Just not a fan of how he's playing or how he handles HOH or really anything like that. Especially when he talks about this week's HOH, he's like, I want to show how much of a comp beast I am. And I'm like, great, you're going to get like first juror if you do that. Great, Marty.
You don't want to make it to jury, bro? You don't want to have a say even? Like
Literally, like I don't know what he's doing, but
I agree.
we see Summer is talking with Jay, and they're both very unsure who Marty's really planning to target this week. Jay says they really haven't talked game with him, but hope that they can benefit his game quite a bit, which, you know, we'll talk about what ends up happening there. Marty decides to choose Tynesha as his Wendy's date for the week, which was interesting. Kind of expected, because I think I said, Allie, on like our cast reveal, like if there's anyone I can see Marty getting kind of close to, it is Tynesha, because they have like the
Their
parents. They have the parent thing in common. I could definitely see that, so I wasn't too shocked about that. So Steph talks with Marty to make sure their deal is still on, and he says that while they never really had time to connect, he will stay true to her word. However, he doesn't trust her that much at all and plans to put up someone else that she's closely allied with. So it's like, why the hell did you take this deal in the first place?
Well, he's telling everybody that he's like, oh, I shouldn't have made that deal with Steph. I shouldn't have done that. Like, I really wish, like, I can't nom her. Fine. You know, I'll nom JC.
Which makes him even more sketchy and like not to be trusted, because like
that information is gonna get back to her.
Oh yeah.
That, and also like if he had just said, "Oh, I'm just gonna, you know, let the deal ride it out," but the more that he says like, "I wish I didn't do that. I wish I'm," like, it will now spark more things in people's minds, like, "Oh, what else does he like take back that he doesn't want to do anymore?"
Yeah,
like,
what Marty is not thinking about is that, you know, the weeks where he's not HOH, this is something people are going to think about. It's like, well, Marty didn't, you know, went back on his word. He was constantly flipping back and forth. How do we know, like, if someone actually wants him to, like, make a move, is he actually going to make that move? Like, I feel like this was really bad for Marty. Like, he should have just, like, stuck to his guns. And if he felt this way, he just should not have verbalized it. Like, he should have just thought it to himself. Like, that's the best way to
Or just stay in the DR. Just stay in the DR, bro.
Exactly.
Tell everybody.
Yeah, literally.
Right.
That's what the DR is for. Like, I don't understand this, but Tynesha wants Steph to get. So let's get to the shit that I don't care about here. The show is really trying to push this like showmance on us between Gino and everyone's favorite person, totally not racist at all, JL, who basically, you know, Tynesha wants Steph to get into a showmance with Gino, but she's unsure if he actually likes her. We'll talk about where that actually goes, but I don't know why the show puts so much emphasis into this. I just felt like there's not even really that much to talk about here. We hear
it's pointless.
What's confusing to me is on feeds, you know, for like Twitter and stuff, like all I'm hearing about is that Gino likes Summer. So like, why are they so focused on him and JL? I didn't really understand it.
It's the edit. I mean, Gino.
People are actually shipping
because that's what the casuals are entertained by. Now, like
too.
we want to see game. Like I want to see like who is like individually talking to each other, but instead we get this fucking ship bullshit that I don't give a fuck about.
This
Like
early on too, it's like, why are we focusing on this? Like, we still need to get to know these people.
I feel like there's probably alliances that they haven't told us about, like Smarties, for example. Smarties.
Yeah, exactly.
Summer and Marty, like you know, like these individual relationships. I want to see how this game, right?
People are actually shipping Summer and Gino.
Come on, Cino.
Like,
I'm kind of here for it. I'm kind of here for it.
Look,
I am, yeah.
It is going to happen on Jerry, and I'm saying that right now. So just write it down. Put it in your calendar, everybody. Yeah. Jerry is when it's going to happen.
Definitely.
All right. Kevin talks to Marty and wants to see where his head is at, since he has gotten bad vibes from him up to this point. Kevin throws out Jay as an option, and also JL and Steph. Marty says he's terrified of her because even when he made her an offer, she didn't want to get off the board, and it's because she was scared of him, and they agree they are a tight duo and need to be broken up.
Or maybe she just wanted HOH. Like, I don't think it's because she was scared of him. Like, I don't think that had really anything to do it at all. Not that. But no, just in general, Kevin is another person that, like, I'm slowly starting to like a little bit more because I was very worried how he was going to play. And again, he's another person where, like, very easily could have gone up this week and somehow got out of that. And I think he is doing a little bit better, mainly because of the people he's allied with. I'm still not a fan of the, like, villain type edit that he's getting. Like, I'm not a huge fan of that. But him planting the seed to Marty was somewhat impressive to an extent. But I also feel like Marty could have just come to this conclusion himself. Like, it wasn't really Kevin that had anything to do with this.
Yeah. Like, Jeff's Kevin and, like, Haleena are, like, playing the middle.
Definitely, yeah.
It's bittersweet.
Yeah.
I never liked Kevin preseason, but yes, I agree with you. I agree.
I love Kevin. I'm sorry, but I love Kevin. I don't know what strategy he's going with in this game.
Yeah.
But it's very different, and I think that he can do it for a really long time. And people aren't giving him enough credit. Like, he's minimizing his target. Like, even like this blow up with Betty right now, I think it's mainly because, like, people don't know where his head is at. But if everybody's like, oh, Kevin's gonna take out Betty, keeps both of them safe. So
right.
Yeah.
And they still haven't catched on to the fact that he's, like, a huge fan of the game, which is, like, really good.
And I'm pretty sure, like, Betty and him talked it out too, right? So, like,
yeah.
But anyways, that's what makes it bittersweet, is the fact that, like, his gameplay is what's making him, like, making me like him, but also just the things, the actions in the house.
Yeah.
That's happened. I don't like, because, like, if you're looking at the vote order and people in the future that's getting nominated.
Our audience is, like, obsessed with me. I don't know.
Right?
I don't know what's going on.
My friend. Hi, Peyton.
Hello, Peyton.
Hello.
Great to have you here. Yeah, no, going back to Kevin, like, I generally was impressed by the way he was playing this week, and I do agree with you, Kaci. If he's able to continue what he's doing, he's gonna get really far.
He knows at some point, because he said it in the DRs. Like, he's like, I know at some point it's gonna have to come off. Like, his persona is gonna have to go away. Yeah. But I am excited to see whenever that happens and the house just starts freaking out.
Yeah, definitely.
I want them to bring back the invisible HOH and for Kevin to get it. Because
that'd be so good. That'd be so good.
I would pay money.
I legitimately don't know what to do.
Like, rig it. Thank you.
That'd be so good. No, I kind of do want to see them bring it back because it kind of flopped last year.
That'd be so good.
I wish Spicy V would have just fucking put up Ty and Jed.
I know.
It would have been so good. It would have been
come on, girl.
Like, the whole
Nobody
season would have been
knows.
different. The whole season would have been different.
Yes.
Very.
And I love last season, but, like, literally should have done that. But didn't.
Yeah.
It was a great season, but just certain things needed to be changed.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, let's go back to this season. Ellie, go ahead.
All right. Jess also checks in with him and says that they wouldn't target him if they were to win HOH, and he is nowhere near their list of people to target. They also feel that they're a house target and therefore is expendable at any moment. He seems to also agree with this.
Again, good pitch from Jess. Like, generally, really good pitch from Jess. I think that if they're able to continue this narrative, it's going to work out pretty well for them. And I think that they're making pretty good connections with people. So, again, like, I'm impressed.
Oh, same.
I'm not.
They're definitely doing way better than expected.
Let me tell you why. Because you don't understand how many times I hear, keep me in the game. The house is targeting me. Yada, yada, yada. You know, like...
Don't hate the player, hate the game, baby. John. Don't talk about Jess like that, okay?
Listen, I didn't say I don't like Jess. I just don't like the reason.
No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
I understand. Like, they're always like, I'm on my own island. I'm by myself. But
yeah. But they kind of are. That's the thing.
Are they wrong, though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, in this context, I think it was an effective pitch because nothing that they were saying wasn't true. So.
It was because then freaking Marty was like, you're safe. I'm not targeting you. I want to make a big move.
Yeah.
I want to make a name for myself. Let's make a big move.
Okay, sure. Machine Gun Marty, like...
I'm going to call him that. I'm going to call him that now. MGM. That's his name.
I'm going to call him that too.
Machine Gun Marty. Let's go.
That's amazing.
I love that so much.
Literally. Just shooting links over here.
Where were we?
All right. Tynesha talks to Kyle and says that she feels there are a good amount of people who don't know how this week is going to go, but while she doesn't feel all the way safe, she feels the 7 is the only solid alliance at the moment and could very well run the game. And eventually they're going to have to draw a line in the sand and figure out who to take out.
I'm just going to say, check back in with us next week for our thoughts on this, because that's not going to be that way for a while.
Yeah.
For very long at all. But no, and like in all seriousness, like the 7, I feel like only some people actually care about, and like these 2 are like some of the only people at least did, and now I don't know how they feel, like how most of them feel about it, but it's definitely not lasting. Definitely not lasting.
No, not at all.
From the information I know, that shit gone.
Yeah.
that ship sailed.
Yeah, that's done. That's done.
Ugh.
And then here's a moment that
the severed 7.
Shoo.
This next segment, and then this next segment.
They're shooting an arrow to their alliance. That's what this meant.
Oh my god. All right, this next segment is one that we don't really care about either. Steph is playing chess with Gino and admits she has a crush on him. And while she's very flirty and bubbly, he says he can also be a big flirt around a lot of women, but there is someone in the house he is very attracted to. That person is JL.
Who gives a fuck? Moving on.
Yeah. Marty takes Tynesha to Wendy's, especially since he really saw how much she wanted to win the comp for her daughter, that was really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, still I'm not a fan of him, but
yeah.
He speaks to her in French and says that he has to go after someone who would put him up if they had the chance. He mentions Jay, and he says that the main person he is putting up, especially with how good they are socially and how dangerous they could be moving forward.
Which, again, I didn't really understand this notion that, like, Jay is so good socially, because we're forgetting about the fact that Jay had safety and, like, didn't really have to do a ton because they were safe. And I just felt like, Marty saying, oh, they're amazing socially. I just didn't really get that vibe from them this week at all.
I just think he needed an excuse for the racist acts.
Well, that too, yeah. It's very much that.
I mean, like, also, like, it's such a weak reason to put someone up, because you could say that about literally every single person in the house still. It's only week 2. Why does he have the best social game? Because everyone talks to him and everyone likes him. Like, you can say it about freaking Tynesha, Summer, Gino. Like...
Yeah, and, like, in what way is that a threat to your game? It really just felt like,
And here's the thing, like, Jay was like, we saw Jay talking to Marty and being like, dude, I was never going after you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that it was actually Marty's target. I think that Jay
Moose is the main reason why Marty's doing this move. I forgot about
Really?
that. Moose is the
Okay.
reason why he. Yes, because Moose. Oh my god, Moose
What's the
came
tea?
to. Didn't Moose go to Marty and Moose say 2 names and then Marty?
Oh
was
yeah.
with that?
We gotta
Yeah.
talk about that. Yeah, we gotta talk about that.
That's the reason why Jay's names got brought up.
Yeah.
Anyways,
We'll talk
continue.
about that in a little bit.
All right. Jay talks to MGM and he lets them know they will be going up, even with them admitting they aren't going after him at all.
This was such an infuriating conversation because like Jay is making really good points here. Like, hey, I'm not targeting you. Like, there's no reason for you to go after me. And Marty's just like, I don't care. You're my target. It's like Marty didn't know who to target and just like settled for Jay because that's like all he could think of. It's like, it's so bad.
I agree.
Terrible.
I agree. I agree with that.
It's so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's annoying, but like, I think this is the first cast where like preseason I was like, I don't know how they're gonna even like. There's a lot of people I like, and if Marty did go and choose the easy way, like I also wouldn't like Jess going. I don't like that either. So like,
No.
this cast is really good as far as gameplay. Like,
I agree.
So,
I think we've got a lot of stars in this cast.
Yeah, for sure.
For this season and future seasons, if they
absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's another thing is like this cast is just so good.
Yeah.
Minus MGM.
And also Kyle, if you can't tell by my name.
Yeah.
Fuck Kyle.
Yeah, we don't like Kyle.
No.
Yeah.
Tanisha talks to Gino about how he feels about Steph, and he says he can sense she likes him, but doesn't really want to cause drama and lay low. He admits he does like JL a lot. Tanisha says she just really wants to see a showman's this season.
Were you Tanisha, or does the audience? Is that like something you were like pushed into saying? Like I don't know about that.
Why is all this such a why is all this a thing?
I don't know. I felt like I was watching BBUS, like legitimately. This was bad.
Marty, let's
do better.
Marty,
honestly, yeah, that's how I feel. That sums it up.
Marty lets Moose and Gino know what he wants to do, and Gino is upset to know that JL will be targeted. Mm-hmm. Are you really upset?
Yeah.
He says Jay just scares him whenever they talk game.
Which again, like, why? Jay literally just said like they weren't coming after you. I didn't understand this at all. And also, like, just from this conversation, this really wasn't Marty's HOH. This was like Gino and Moose's HOH.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he didn't really make many decisions at all on his own. He could just kind of had them do it for him. But we see Gino goes to JL and lets her in that she could very well be nominated this week. And she's confused as to why he wants her out. And Gino says he plans to talk to him and get more clarity on why he's going after her. So he goes to Marty about his nominations. And Marty admits that Steph would have been going up if the deal had not been made, which, like, why don't you just put her up? But whatever. She wants to honor. He decides to just kind of honor his nomination in an effort to not break his trust with her. And Gino then talks to JL and says that he feels that Marty is pretty steadfast on nominating her, and that she says that while she appreciates Gino, she doesn't need him doing all of her work. And she decides to kind of touch base with Marty, and he says that he didn't know where he stood with her very much at all. She admits that he wasn't on her radar at all, and that should be a number for him moving forward. Very repetitive, honestly. Like, I feel like both nominees, like, yeah, you're not on my radar. Like, why are you targeting me? It's, again, it just really sums up how
I know
Marty was for Marty.
Not MGM's messing with Sean's connection again.
Oh no.
But I mean, like, what do you have to base, going after somebody on round 2 for? Like, obviously, you don't want to put up the same people who were up before, like Jess or Kevin. Like, that's not going to help you. Like, they're targeting other people because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm saying, like, the only thing that Marty had game-wise to target somebody off of was Steph, because of how she was acting sus, and JL, like, I think that you'd use a veto on her, so I have to nominate both of you. Like, easy, clean, less blood.
Yeah, I think his reasoning for targeting JL made sense. His reasoning for Jay did not make any fucking sense.
Right.
So I would agree with you on that, definitely. So basically, Jay talks to Marty and says that they just want to make sure that he has drawn the line in the sand, which they feel is a direct shot at them. And he says that he expects them to target him if they win HOH next week. And they bring up how different the two of them are and that they could use that to each other's advantage, which, again, not a bad pitch. Like, people would not expect those two to potentially work together. I like the fact that Jay was trying to work on their social game here. I kind of got the sense that, like, because they were safe, they didn't really do as much like strategic game talking and things like that. So they were kind of trying to make up for it here. And Marty, again, just isn't budging and does nominate JL and Jay, which again, Jay talked a lot about how like they did something iconic at like the nomination ceremony to like throw Marty off. Didn't really see that. They kind of just like strutted in there and like walked against Marty. So it wasn't really something to like hype up all that much. But again, nominations, not that great. JL makes sense. Jay really doesn't.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
I mean, it would have been nice if JL left, but
yeah, definitely. I would have much rather that happen.
I was starting to kind of like sort of like her until until her like tweets were released. I'm like, yep, nope, now I don't like her at all.
Yep.
Yeah, I found her.
What is you doing? Like
I like Steph more than her.
I mean, yeah, Steph's boring, but like she's not racist.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like if Steph was going to go on the block, she'd be pretty explosive, though. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's everything happening on Sunday. We're gonna go ahead into Wednesday here. So Marty reiterates that Jay is the target and that JL is the pawn. Gino then talks about how though Marty has told him the plan, he hopes that the house goes in the same direction and JL will not be evicted this week. And we see Jay is not happy to have been nominated and hopes that they have the social game that Marty claims that they do. So they decide to talk to Summer about it, and they talk about how they feel they have a decent chance of staying. And pretty good conversation. Summer's someone that I'm really liking a lot, I must say. I think everything we get of her, the more we see of her, the more I really do like her. I think she's in probably one of the best positions in the house, and as long as she's able to use those social connections to her advantage, like I think she's going to go really far. I know her and Tynesha are kind of being like grouped together, but I see Summer getting farther so far because I think she's doing a better job with the social connections.
I think so too. I agree. Like the thing that she has with Marty really probably saved her and Tynesha this round because they're also kind of seen as somewhat of a duo.
They kind of are.
Right. But yeah, Summer, but she's working with more people than what I see Tynesha. So I think Summer is playing a better game and she's going to be brought into more. I'm just curious to see how much is she really going to tell Tynesha.
Yeah, that too. I hope she doesn't like overshare with her because that could definitely hurt her, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So knowing she's on the block, JL does decide to work on her social game a bit. To her credit, this wasn't bad what she did here. She pulls Kevin in and tells her that he's rooting for her to win the veto. However, he's concerned if another nomination happens that he's probably going to go up, especially with how he has been playing. He doesn't feel he has a lot of agency left in the game right now, and at some point he will in fact be targeted. So yeah, I think this was a pretty good conversation with Kevin, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like, again, Kevin's playing this game where it's like, he's going to tell everyone what they want to hear. And meanwhile, he has different thoughts. And I think that's like, I don't think there was any scenario in which he was going to like potentially save JL. Like that just was not going to happen with Kevin. So like, it was a good idea for her to do what she did, but I don't think he would have saved her because I think I don't think that would have happened. But, so Summer talks about how she always tries to say positive affirmations to herself and is now trying to get the other girls in the house to follow suit. There's just a really nice segment. Again, I think Summer is just someone that is just so like radiant and positive and someone that you just really like watching. And this was a really good moment for her. More of this, less of the showman bullshit.
I loved her. I love her so much. Like I had really good vibes with like for her in the game, like since preseason.
Yeah, definitely. Big fan of her.
Yes.
Summer like this season, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jay talks about how much they and Josh have been bonding with how they are both Indigenous, Black, white, and queer. Growing up in Alberta, they don't see a lot of people that look like them, and they are so happy to have someone in their life forever. This was a really nice moment.
Yeah, I liked their duo a lot. It's actually
Same.
interesting. From what I heard, apparently Jay found Josh on Twitter, on Tinder originally.
Tinder, yeah.
Yeah, on
Tinder,
Tinder.
yeah.
They had
That's right,
matched
Tinder.
previously. Yep.
Yeah, which I think is interesting. But yeah, I like the sort of, alliance of sorts that they had. I wish it could have gone a lot farther because I think it would have been interesting. Josh isn't doing much for me right now personally, but I think this was a good moment for both of them.
And I was able to watch that moment happen live on the feeds too, so it was
That's
great.
good. That's good.
Yeah, they're like cleaning, and Josh is like, "Look, like I got your bag. Like I want you to stay." Because it's Jay and JL on the block at this point, and I think Josh was definitely gonna vote out JL.
Yeah, I think if the noms had stayed the same, I could have seen JL potentially leave.
Oh yeah,
we'll see.
I could have seen that.
Yeah.
Josh then talks to Haleena and says that he really doesn't feel Jay is a huge threat, and Haleena feels Jay will still be evicted because of the house uniting, but she feels Jay is probably better for her game because they will always be around, and she'd much rather keep the target in the house so she can remain invisible.
Which again is not a bad reasoning at all, especially with that. But I don't think Jay would have been put up like that much again. Like I think Jay is someone who, similar to Jess and Kevin, could have gotten out of this. But again, really no way to know based on what ended up happening. But again, I like that we got to see a little bit of Haleena strategy.
I love like Haleena. Like Halena's very smart. She definitely like gives me like Tala and Cass vibes.
Mm-hmm.
But she's playing like this low key rat game.
Yeah.
Big Ian Terry vibes for me.
Yeah. That's a good way to describe
big Ian Terry vibes.
Yeah.
Everybody feels like they can just pull in Haleena.
Yeah.
And that's good for her right now, but baby, we still got the whole game. So I'm nervous for if people like clock her.
Mm-hmm.
And, like,
That's my
who
biggest
would
fear
she
with her.
truly be loyal to, and how will they know?
Yeah,
So.
I'm just worried she's gonna like start saying like the same things to everyone, and people are gonna like compare notes. But right now, like she's doing a great job, and if she continues to do what she's doing, like I think she's gonna go really far in the game because she's in a really good position right now. I just hope she's able to maintain that positioning because
like she's very close with like Kevin, which like I'm here for it, but they just have to be really careful.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, she definitely needs to be careful with him because she might be a rat, but he's the snake. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. Kevin's really not working with anyone. He's working for himself. Like he doesn't have any like, ties to anything.
Mm-hmm.
So
she then talks with Betty and they both agree there are bigger fish to fry.
Yes.
It's time to pick players for the veto competition. The names will be chosen by a wheel. Haleena, Josh, and Betty are all selected along with JL and Jay.
I like the wheel. I like this wheel a lot, actually. I think it's an interesting way to draw names. It's much more exciting to me than just, let's pick a random name out of a bag. Like this is way more exciting, and I
love the wheel.
I think it's really fun.
I love like the house guest choice or like the bankrupt. That's like the black, like the smaller proportions.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it was dope. I love that. Very interesting. Really cool. Very engaging. So,
it kind of reminds me of, and obviously very different, but it reminds me back in the days when they used to do like the keys for the nominations. It's just so much more exciting. Like there's so much more like anticipation and things like that. This very much reminded me of that because like there's so much more writing on this, like than just picking random names out of a bag. Like this is a wheel spin, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a lot more exciting. I liked it.
Same.
Keep it around.
Agreed. Jay talks to Josh and Betty, and it seems like they both will pull them off if either of them win. And Jay says if they hope JL doesn't win. Marty also is worried she will.
You and me both, Jay. You and me both. Like, this is not what we wanted.
No.
This is not how this was supposed to go.
Marty says that if JL wins, he may reconsider his deal with Steph.
Which, that would have been funny if he did that, but he didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. JL talks to Gino, and he is confident she will win the veto. She feels she and Gino are getting a lot more playful, and it seems like the attraction is becoming mutual. Okay, sure.
care, but that's wonderful. I hope you enjoy this non-storyline.
You know what's more attractive? $100,000 in Big Brother Canada winner season 10.
JL is honestly playing exactly the way I feared she was going to, and like she's gonna go really fucking early because of it.
Yep.
I can see her being like maybe last pre-juror.
I honestly don't see her or Steph getting very far in this game. Like I feel both of them are like.
I don't know. I feel like if Steph
that round definitely, I thought she was gonna be pre-juror, but I think the tides have been turning recently in the Big Brother house, so I'm not sure. I think she's gonna make it to jury. I think she'll make top 6 if I was to guess right now, but
we'll see. But JL is not making it far. Like that's not happening. It's not happening.
I think so. I think y'all are wrong.
We'll see.
Jess and Kevin are both fearful either of them could go up as a renom. Jess brings up how they voted out Kevin, so people don't know they are working together, especially since they are both such huge super fans of the show.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely like a good reason to work together. But again, like Kevin's one of those players where like he can absolutely use that against Jess if he needs to. So I don't know how good this is going to be for either of them.
I know.
But again, like generally impressed that they were able to survive the week without either of them going on the block. Like that is something I was expecting for Kevin or Jess to be the replacement nom, and that's not what happens.
Kevin lets them in that he is doing a lot better socially than people think, and they think he needs to keep playing that up. And he says that while they initially annoyed him, they have really won him over with how relentless they are. Jess feels Kevin is their ticket to the end.
I don't know how truthful this is. I really don't. That's the thing with Kevin. Like, I don't know how truthful any of what he really is saying to Jess is, but it does feel like this is probably like his most solid connection. Just because like he has shared with her things about his game, which he hasn't really done as much with others. I could be wrong, but that's what it seems like.
Yeah. All right, the veto comp happens, and it's a stacking one. They each have to build a cake, which this comp is actually kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, it was creative. I enjoyed it.
This comp was hard.
It was very hard.
I liked it. I actually would like to play this one. It would be fun.
I'm here for stacking comps.
Yes.
I much prefer them over, physical stuff.
Some physical ones I can do, not all.
It's just more exciting to watch.
In the end, JL has a pretty steady lead throughout and does end up winning the competition.
Which is like exactly what we did not want to happen, but JL does win the veto here. Good for her, I guess. It was a good win. But Steph then celebrates with JL for winning the veto. Jay then tells Josh that they really don't want it to be over. They're feeling very defeated here. And Josh says that he doesn't think it is. And Jay says that they don't usually get to be with people in spaces like this that look like them or Josh. This was a really like heart-wrenching moment. Just seeing the two of them. Just really kind of like relate to the fact that like, their culture and things like that isn't really represented a lot. Says a lot about like how diverse the cast is. And I think that's something that, we can definitely commend this season on, is that we do have a very diverse cast and that they can kind of like bond over that. I enjoyed that conversation. Again, it's unfortunate that we're not going to get to see more of it, because I wanted to see more of this story between Jay and Josh. I think it could have been a very, very, potentially very interesting and maybe very emotional one if it hadn't gone farther.
Yeah.
So Haleena talks about how she has a lot of different deals with people, and she initially wanted Jay to stay, but with JL winning veto, she kind of has to work every single angle. Steph comes in, and they all, except for Kevin, they all expect for Kevin to be the one to go up here. Jess finds Betty and tells her that Kevin will likely be going up and that her family is very proud of her and that she should use her almost winning to her advantage. And they ask if Betty feels that she will go up as a replacement, and she doesn't expect it to happen. Remember that. Betty is very confident this is not going to happen here. Jess talks with Marty, and he throws out that Kevin immediately throws at Kevin immediately, and they try to keep the target off of him and remind him that Jay will likely be targeting him if they were to survive the week. And they first bring up Steph as a random, but he doesn't really want to break his promise to her, and he admits putting up Kevin is not what he would want to do on his HOH, which, okay, I guess. Marty talks to Kyle, and he talks about how good he feels with him and Gino, and feels that he has the most sway out of all of them. He pushes for Betty because of how poorly she has done social-wise, and that she would also be a vote for Jay to stay. I didn't really understand this. Like, again, it's kind of a random move here, and
it was
Betty
really random.
Talks to Kevin, who's positive he's going on the block. Betty feels that he needs to up his game and put himself in a better position. She doesn't want him to be the pawn of the season. She says that he should talk to Marty and see if there are other options. And this was really bad. Like, the way Betty handled this, like, just very poor choice.
Oh, that was hard to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, especially her saying, like, there are other options. It's like, yeah, you, like, you're literally an option. Like, I already talked about how I don't like a lot of Kevin's DRs, but I did like the moment where he's like, you know who's an option, Betty? You, because it's like, that's exactly why you shouldn't say that. Because if Betty wasn't vulnerable, like, sure, that would be a fine choice of words, but Betty is vulnerable. Yeah. Betty can go up, and she didn't consider that here. She was so safe. Yeah. It was like, she didn't consider the fact that maybe she could go up. And basically, she talks about how she would be a vote for, Jay to stay. And basically, she says that he should talk to Marty and see if there are other options. And Kevin then decides to do what he does best and literally throws Betty right under the bus here. We cut to Kevin talking to Marty and brings up how he feels the flow of the house is going. He feels that, and this was very interesting reads here. Like, Kevin's kind of like on the money with this. He feels that Summer and Tanisha are working with everyone, which is basically true. Betty and Josh have some kind of an alliance as well. And Marty then brings up how he may put up Betty all of a sudden. So that is exactly what he does. Renoms Betty. Again, just very hard to watch because Betty just had no indication that this was going to happen. The way it all played out, I don't think this was the right move for Marty at all. I think he easily could have gone away with just putting up Jess or Kevin. And I think there would have been like, and again, yeah, it would have been the boring move. But like in this scenario, like the boring move is the right move. I don't think this was the move at all because Betty could have easily gone here. If he puts up someone like Jess or Kevin, like they're not going to go. It's going to be like probably Jay that ends up going just because, again, Jess and Kevin have kind of been like, so far, a lot of people think they're going to be like the pawns in that way. I don't think this was a good move for Marty at all. Casey, what do you think about this move of him putting up Betty?
Especially because he didn't tell her beforehand. Like, sir,
yeah,
what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you on? Like, it's round 2. Like, there's literally no strategic reason why you should not tell somebody that they're going on the block beforehand.
Yeah.
There's no reason that it's good. Like, I can't think of one reason that it's good to not tell somebody.
Yeah,
unless you think they have like a fucking power veto that has to be used before the veto, like or before noms. Like that's the only way.
It's different if like she was expecting it, but like Betty literally felt that she was like so good with Marty. It was like this was just not the right way to.
Marty feels like he doesn't have like a deal with Betty, but Betty clearly thought in her head like Marty and I are good. Why burn that? Whenever
exactly
you could nom Kevin, and what's Kevin gonna do if he wins HOH? Nom you and Hermon, yeah.
Hermon.
I don't know how to say his name. Is it Armon? Is it Hermon?
Hermon, yeah.
I don't know. I think it was a fun move for me to watch.
Oh yeah, personally. Definitely. Like very bad for his game. Definitely gonna come to bite him in the ass later.
Yep.
So yeah. That's everything that happens on Wednesday. We're going to go ahead and talk about Thursday now, which there's quite a bit to talk about, not just game-related, but we'll get into that.
All right. Jay feels it's going to be really hard to stay against Betty, but they will fight as hard as they can. And Betty's very upset she's nominated, but is hoping to use it as fire to stay.
Yeah.
Ugh, these noms. Ugh, it sucks.
I know.
Tanisha talks to both noms. Betty is pissed at Marty, and Jay feels there is an alliance that includes Gino, Marty, and Kyle, and they have to be the one to put an end to it.
they're not wrong. They're not wrong. That very much does exist. So I don't know if it exists anymore, but it did exist. So like they were not wrong about that at all. And you know, Betty being pissed at what's going on, like, you know, I totally understand why she felt that way, because, you know, just the way Marty handled it was so bad.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't upfront with her. If he was like, hey, I just need you to sit on the block, like, you're good, like, these are the votes, I know that you were good, I think that she would have been like, okay, Marty, like, whatever. But just not knowing and then just nomming somebody, like, why?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a really bad move.
No, yeah,
but
it is.
After Jay is going around saying all of this, that's whenever I think that Marty really buckled down and was like, Jay is such a huge target. He is the target of the house. This is who we have to target. Like, is Jay? Are they? I don't think so.
Yeah. And also misgendering Jay. That's not great either. We don't like when he did that.
No, we do not.
No.
We do not. We do not.
No. No, it's still
even after other house guests like correcting him, like Haleena correcting him in conversation. Haleena continuously just correcting him, like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, that especially rubbed me the wrong way.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like she'd correct him and he wouldn't acknowledge it. I'm like, at least acknowledge it. Like, come on.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's literally like not even listening to her.
No.
But he also speaks 2 languages, but I mean, he can say they. Let's be real. Like,
yeah, it's not hard. It's not hard.
All right. Summer really wants to try and save Betty and mentions the alliance she's in.
Which I'm glad we saw a little bit of this, the alliance that's going on with Summer, Tynesha, Betty, and Haleena. I just wish it got a little bit more airtime and not so much focus on a fucking showmance.
This alliance is called
Man down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
No, yeah. I'm excited. I hope that they're able to go far. I don't know if they're gonna go far, but I think that is a pretty solid 4.
They just need
I think that they can. Yeah. I think they can if they all stick together.
I think it's like a very low-key alliance, which is good.
I think so too. And I think after this week, like, none of them are in like immediate danger to where that alliance is going to crumble. Like, I think if they're able to stick together and just watch out for each other, they can go very far in this game. It's probably the most solid alliance at the moment. I would say.
I agree.
Yeah.
Kevin talks with Summer, and she tells him to give it time and give her the week, especially with everyone being under the assumption he was going to be the renom. It makes sense for her to think he conspired against her, and he says he feels bad.
Yeah, Kevin and Summer were really not getting along at all at this point, but it seems like they worked it out overall.
Jay talks to Josh and says he wants to create an alliance with Kyle and Marty.
Which was a really interesting move that they suddenly pivoted to that.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really understand this. Like, I get that they want to break up this alliance. Like, they're on the right track with that. But, like, trying to put yourself in that alliance, that's not the way to go about this.
So, yeah. I've seen this happen in Big Brother Australia. Mm-hmm. He would go into like the belly of the beast is what he called it, and just took them all out from the inside. So I get it as a strategy. I've never seen it because Big Brother Australia is a little bit different layout than like BBCAN and BBUS. But I would love to see a player do that in one of these games, just to like go under and be like the belly of the beast. That's what Ian Terry essentially did. I guess it's a rat, but I don't know.
Yeah. So much potential with Jay, honestly. It's like, it's unfortunate.
It made me sad.
They could have done so much.
Oh, yeah. Betty talks with Marty. He tells her that he didn't want people to rat him out, and she calls him a liar and feels he should have just put up Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, that's that's exactly what he should have done. And Marty made himself honestly look worse in this conversation, I think, where he's like, oh, I didn't want people to rat me out. It's like, then you should have fucking told her she was going up. Like,
Jay talks about their indigenous culture and how much it means to them.
This is a really good segment, I think. I'm glad we were able to get this with Jay, especially before they left. I like that we were able to see, their culture and things. But again, it's just unfortunate that we weren't able to see more of that.
Yeah, I love that a lot.
Yeah.
What is it that they were doing? I remember seeing it. It was like a cleansing kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they were talking a lot about that.
Betty talks to Haleena and says they need to go after Kyle, Gino, and Marty, and Haleena is generally conflicted with what to do.
Which makes sense. I mean, she's kind of working with everyone at
She
this
is.
point.
She needs to pick that side, but it is good she's playing the middle, but
it's not the time to pick the side yet. I think it's kind of where she's
especially
at.
with one of them on the block and the one they want to go against is HOH. Like, you gotta get through these first couple rounds here, sis.
Oh yeah, and
but at least
think
Betty is saying it. Betty at least is like, hey, these are my targets.
Yeah. I think Haleena is doing a good job with like absorbing information and things like that. Again, I just really hope she does something with it because I'm very worried that like it's gonna get to a point where like she doesn't know what side to pick because she's just so good with everyone. But I guess we'll see.
She'll probably pick actually pick a side at like jury. Like if she
I hope so. So Jay feels that they have Jess and Josh's votes to stay and tries to convince JL to keep them based on how Marty initially targeted her and how they are the bigger target right now. This was a good pitch to JL, but again, JL's game just isn't focused on this at all. Like JL is very heavily aligned with like, the Ginos and the Hermons and things like that. And
he's playing for the men.
Very much so. Very much so. And it's working for her to an extent, but we'll see.
But I mean, playing with Stephanie was not good. So I think that's why she had to do it. Like, she understood, okay, these boys are in power, and Jay even everybody in the house could probably see that they were in power. So I think she's just doing whatever she needs to do to get by.
I think so too.
But I mean, after winning vetoes, she doesn't know them shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So we then get a moment that I'm sure a lot of people were very excited about. I was excited because, of what I've seen of this, of this person I've been a big fan of. We do get to see a proposal here from Dimitri's. He proposes to Aikawan. Really good moment. I love, especially when she was like, I hope the house we're in, this is going to happen during a good season. I thought that was a really fun moment overall. And just a really, really good overall. I believe it happened in November because Dimitri's was wearing the same outfit that he was wearing then and saying that they were going to the Big Brother house. So yeah, this was good. I liked this.
I loved it so much.
Iconic.
Yeah.
They're christening the house, which we love.
Yeah, the second that Arisa said, oh, there's a proposal, I had a feeling it was going to be them. Who else would it be?
She just kept on saying, wedding bells. I'm like, girl, you're running it for everybody. Just say that you have an announcement later,
Yeah. I did think it was really funny that Arisa tweeted, this episode can't be missed, and everyone thought there was going to be, something crazy, JL, got, expelled from the house or something because of, all the tweets, and it was just a proposal.
I was like, oh my god, a twist, the door, what's happening behind the door? It's just Icon Dimitri's okay, we'll see you on your YouTube channel. Take care of your brother. Love you guys, so.
Oh yeah. This was a nice wholesome moment, but we're gonna pivot from a wholesome moment to the eviction here. Betty makes a pitch saying that she hopes that she can stay. Very generic overall, but Jay then thanks all of the transgender and queer people who have gotten them here, and that there are many things that need to be done to revisionize Canada. Really nice speech overall. I like how I like their activism and things like that. And after all the campaigning, it sadly is not enough. And Jay is the next person sent home by a vote of 10-2. The 2 votes to save them. Who were the 2 votes?
It was from Kyle and Kyle.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And from what I'm hearing, they did this to basically pin votes on Jess and Josh. They're gonna
well, I don't think that Kyle knows that Hermon was the second vote, but Kyle was definitely doing it to pin it on Jess.
Oh yeah.
And then Hermon was as well, but because Kyle, like, there was a second vote, Kyle was like, "Oh, that was me, haha." But jokes. But Hermon is really trying to keep that target on Jess, so that's what I was saying earlier. Like, I am concerned about that.
Yeah.
At first, it's like, "Oh, why is he doing this?" He nommed them, duh. Like,
Yeah.
So.
And Hermon's in a
Justin's
really
HOH,
good
like,
position right now. So like,
He is.
and I think that Hermon could rebuild that with Jess. Like, there's no
I think so,
reason to
too.
put a target on
I
them.
think
Like,
so.
Jess is looking at all the other men. Come on.
Yeah, like he
They're
needs to
already in the
not
Kyles.
fixate. Yeah, he needs to not fixate on Jess, and I think he'll continue to be in one of the best positions in the house overall.
Oh yeah, he's doing great. He's doing really well.
Definitely. So we get this interview with Jay, and is it me or the interview's like really brief this year? Like there's like nothing that they really talk about.
Unless they just do more off camera.
I guess, yeah, but basically, I know they do like the TikTok interviews and things like that. But basically, Jay and Miss, they didn't know what they were getting themselves into, but that they tried. They talk about how important community is to them as well. Again, just very disappointing. Like I thought Jay was gonna go a lot farther preseason. They were like honestly one of my winner picks, but I just don't think, unfortunately, I think them winning safety round 1 was like really bad for them. I think that they weren't really able to focus as much on the strategic side of things, and they weren't able to make those connections that they really needed. And then but I think they had so much more left in them, like the relationship with Josh. They had good game awareness and things like that, but unfortunately, they weren't able to really showcase any of that. So it's unfortunate. Like I really wish Jay could have gone farther.
I know. Like
Jay went out like walking on their hands. Like
they did.
Jay and Melina.
That too. Yeah. Putting Raven Walton to shame, because Raven Walton also did that.
Honestly, like both Melina and Jay were very disappointing, and it's sad.
Yeah, I would agree. So, yeah, very unfortunate. So the next HOH of the season goes down, and it's a crapshoot. And this was a crazy turn of events, because we see Gino's in the lead at first. We see Kevin and Hermon get very close, but fall off the platform.
Okay,
as do a lot of people.
I'm just gonna say it. The best part of this episode was when they fell off.
Oh, that was funny. It happened to so many people. Like,
it's so funny.
I think like Summer got really close, and I don't remember who else it kept falling off, but like there were a lot of people who were getting like so close to that 24, and then it just fell off. So yeah, but Josh gets a 23. I was pretty confident at this point that Josh is gonna be HOH, and I was here for it, because I feel like Josh is just one of those players where like I don't really know where his head is at in terms of the game. We haven't really had.
I really like Josh, but like he's just been kind of invisible, and this would have been a way
for him to really build a foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would have been really good for him to like kind of see where his head is at, and like really showcase where he is in the game. But unfortunately, that's not what happens. Kyle gets a 24, which is as high as it could possibly get, which I was shocked about. And can I just say, the fucking arrogance in Kyle here really was annoying me. Like him like winking at the camera before he shot the thing. I was so annoyed. But he gets the 24. He's HOH, and my God, we'll talk about his HOH week in the next podcast. But like, he did not need this HOH. Like straight up, he did not need this at all. No. Kyle was probably in one of the better positions in the house. Everyone kind of felt okay with him, and might not be the case after this week. That's all.
Yeah, he's gone way too cocky.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the thing with Kyle. Kyle's actually playing a lot differently than I thought he was going to. And I don't mean that in a good way. Like, I thought Kyle was going to come in, be super low key, just really just kind of like, just kind of chill and things like that. And that people weren't really going to take him seriously, because he was going to talk about like, him, being the other Kyle Moore and things like that. But he hasn't done that, which is good. But instead, he's gotten extremely cocky and honestly kind of problematic. And I'm just not really a big fan of him at all. So
me neither.
If there's anyone that's
he's
like
dog water.
Yeah, honestly, like if there's anyone who's like really disappointing me, it's got to be Kyle. Because like I was expecting him to come in and at least be fun, he's just arrogant. Like, he's just arrogant, and I'm not here for it at all.
He was decent the first couple of days.
He was.
But now it's just like, baby, what is you doing? Like,
yeah,
I know.
He's gotten so like cocky to the point where like he feels that like everyone, like he's got everyone like eating out of the palm of his hand, and it just couldn't be farther from the truth. So,
well, he's gonna recognize that probably needed this ended this week.
Oh yeah, for sure. So Arisa then tells the audience that they will be allowed to gift another player safety for this week. We'll talk about where that ends up going, of course, next week. But I really like this a lot. I thought this was a really fun idea. There's a lot of people that could potentially be up. I'll be honest, I put most of the votes on Betty and Haleena.
I voted for a few people. Like I think I voted for Summer, Betty, Haleena.
Yeah.
I voted for a couple people.
Anyone that like put, I think Jess I threw a couple votes on as well because I think
I'm trying to remember. I didn't vote a lot, but I voted a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't vote. Should have though.
Yeah, I mean, based on what happened, you probably should have. That's why this happened, Casey, because you didn't vote.
Yeah. Well, apparently, because like I was watching a different podcast or something, but the East Coasters, I guess that's what Marty is an East Coaster. Okay. They always get voted more. Which, thinking about it, so did Tina for Team Captain.
Yeah, that's true.
So the casuals have to be like in a certain part of Canada.
There might be something to that because that is very similar to last year. Like I would never have expected Tina and Kiefer to get what they got. Yes, it is all Casey's fault. We need to push that as much as we can. But yeah, no, that basically is where we end this week. Basically, heading into this next week, I'm feeling pretty good, I'd say, about this season. I was very worried that for a while this was going to be one of those seasons where we had this like dominant alliance and they were going to control everything, and mostly consisting of the men, which I'll be honest, not a big fan of most of the men this year. Just not really doing it for me in the way that, especially compared to last season. I think the men last season were a lot stronger and a lot more likable too in terms of personalities. A lot of these guys I'm just not really super into. So I was worried that was going to happen, but with the messiness of a lot of these players and the way that they are, especially just like there's a lot of fluidity going on, and I'm very happy about that.
The season's like off to a fun start so far, and stuff.
I think so.
Very messy season because we don't even know what everyone's gonna do. Like everyone is
honestly, it's like ever changing, and I really like that about this season a lot.
It seems like every day that everyone changes their mind.
Yeah, very much so. But before we do wrap things up here, I am going to give you a chance, Casey, to plug whatever you want to plug, do your outro, all that stuff. Talk about how shitty Kyle Moore is. Go right ahead.
We like Kyle Moore, the number one. I was hoping to like this one more, but somehow I hate this one more. So...
I don't even remember Kyle Moore number one, to be honest with you. He's so irrelevant.
Well, because he didn't win shit.
Yeah.
He was
also, my Twitter handle is about to be my name. You can follow me for anything crazy I might see on the feeds, and I feel compelled to tweet about it. So there you go.
Yes. Also,
Sean.
Yeah, we don't know what happened. We don't know what happened to Sean.
They said, I think it's just their connection.
Hopefully, we can get them on next week because their connection was like really spotty. But you can follow them at Sean Dairo. Also, apply for their game Vanquish. They just dropped apps for it. It's a survivor game. It's going to be fun. If you're into orgs, definitely apply for that. So we do want to go ahead and plug that for sure. That's basically it for this episode of A Conversation with Kely. Very excited to see where the rest of this season really does go. We are going to be starting our Survivor coverage very soon as well. Survivor 42 off to a crazy start. Lots to talk about, so we're excited to dive into all of that. But that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys in our next video, and we will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.
Have a good night.